Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make a rabbit for Easter, and it's made out of a Cadbury's cream egg. The paste is sourced from a local supermarket, and so we're going to start off by rolling a golf-sized ball, and you're going to roll it and roll it between your hands. So as you're rolling, it adds heat to the paste, so you get a real shine to the paste. And then you can use the end of a rolling pin or anything that you've got to hand and just push it just into the centre to make a well. And that's where your rabbit is at the bottom, and that's where your Easter egg is going to sit. So this is your Easter egg, and this is just icing sugar which has been let down with a little bit of water, and it'll make the egg stick to the bottom of the paste. So I'm just adding a little bit to the bottom, and then I'm going to pop that onto the mould that I've just done and just work it in your hands just a little bit, just slightly round and round and round, just so you get it to stick to the egg. Okay, so we always work from the bottom upwards. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make some feet. So the feet again are two balls the same size, and you're just going to roll them again. So every shape that you're going to do for this bunny is actually based on a circle. And in the circle you're going to apply a little bit of pressure just to the top bit and just press down till you've got a slight teardrop shape, and then just press it. And using cocktail stick, anything to hand, you're just going to press it in, and this is going to be for the bunny's feet. And the feet are going to stick to the front of the egg. So decide which is the front and which is the back. And I'm going to use just a little bit of water because we're sticking it to the bottom of the rabbit onto the sugar paste. Now with the sugar paste, you'll notice that if you go to various supermarkets, it's called something different. I think in one local, certainly in Tesco, it's called fondant. Another place it's just called ready roll. So it's usually in a block. Don't buy the stuff that's ready rolled. It doesn't work, it cracks. So what I've done is this is the second foot, and I've just rolled it into a ball again, pressing very lightly on one side and pressing it down. So you've got a teardrop shape again. Just to recap, the end of your brush, push it in, turn it over, and just a little bit of water, because after all this is all edible, and then you're just going to stick it into place. Now I quite like my bunny with sort of pads on, so you can just shape that as much as you like. So I'm going to stick the pads onto the bottom of the feet. So again, circles again, and these can be any shape, any colour. You can add toes to it, but we're just going to simple pad today. So just roll it, just like you've done before, by slightly pressing down at the base and pressing it down. Again, a little bit of water just to the base, and then you're going to press on one, and then we're going to press and do the second one. Just roll and roll and roll, press it and press it down. Same teardrop shape, water again to the base of that, but don't put too much water on or see it'll go all sticky and horrible. So you've got the base of the rabbit. So the next thing is we're going to add the arms before we put the head on. So again, this is just two balls the same size. Roll it in your hand, and this time we're going to make a sausage. And to make the sausage, we're going to roll with your middle finger and slightly press into one end. Don't press down too hard, or else you'll get a funny shape. But what we're basically achieving are rounded ends for our rabbit's arms. So you've got a rounded end, and I'm just going to use my thumb and just slightly press down, so it gives it a little bit of a hand shape. Now, because I'm sticking to chocolate, if you added water, it wouldn't stick very well. So this is just a little bit of icing sugar, like I mentioned earlier, let down with a little bit of water, and I'm just going to add a little bit to the back of his arm, and then I'm going to stick it into place. So it could be resting on his tummy, or actually on the bottom of his body. Again, we need to add 2 arms, so I'm going to do them in the same position. Just roll your paste, roll it by just pressing slightly, and on this one we've got a little bit of a lump on the end, so again with your thumb just press it down just to make the shape for the arm. Again, we're going to use a little bit of the icing sugar just on the back of the arm. Now you don't need a lot for this. If you had too much, it tends to squeeze out all over the place. And then I'm going to just add that in a slightly different position. And just clean off any excess paste that you've got. You can do that with either a thin knife or just use of a brush. So what we've got left are now the top of the bunny. So again, this is a circle which I'm going to roll and roll and roll. And again, I want to add a bit of shine to his head, or her head of course. So I'm going to roll it. And you also get, by doing that, you're applying slight pressure, heat from your hands, adds the shine and gets rid of any cracks at the same time. So, and it depends, sometimes you can do the head slightly bigger than the body. It depends what sort of end result you want to achieve. Sometimes it's like very much a cartoony type head, but I quite like this one, it's quite cute. So again, it's a round shape and I've just slightly flattened it at the bottom. And because I'm sticking onto the chocolate, we're going to use the icing mix again, just a little bit at the base, and then I'm going to stick that to the top. And by doing this, you're also covering those arm joints. So the next thing, I'm going to add the facial features. So we're going to do his muzzle, then I'm going to add a little bit of paste just for his nose. So again, a pea-sized shape this time. And again, the size of the muzzle depends on personal preference. I quite like it quite a small muzzle, so it's a round circle, and you're just rolling and rolling and rolling and pressing down. But because I'm sticking the paste to paste, I'm going to use a little bit of water. You can buy specialist edible glue, but water just works as well. So again, a little bit of water, and I'm going to stick that into place and slightly flatten it onto the base of his head. And I think he's going to look great with a nose. So this is slightly oversized, so I'm probably just going to split this in 2 because I don't want the nose to be too big. And again, roll it into place, little bit of water just on the top, and then just add the nose to the top. Now, if you wanted to create a smile, you could use a straw cut in half lengthwise and just to create a cup shape and just press it into the bottom. But I'm going to leave him like that. So we've got eyes, which I'll add at the last moment. So I'm just going to shape his ears. So again, pea-sized ball again. So I'm just going to work that in my hands because obviously it's been stood drying for a little bit, so it's going to slightly crack. So I'm just going to work that paste in my hands. Roll it into a circle again, and then just like you've done for the arms, I'm going to roll it out into a long sausage shape, but with a slightly pointed end again. So there's your pointed end, so you're applying pressure to the top of the sausage and then just flattening it with your finger, or your thumb will work just as well. So you've got a slightly elongated teardrop. Now you can use your paintbrush again and just fold it around your paintbrush just to get a crease for the ears, and we'll stick that into place. Again, you can have the ears facing upwards, but I quite like floppy ears, so I'm going to pop his ears on just like that. And the rabbit obviously needs another ear, so again, just to go through the basic steps again, just work your paste if it's a little bit dry. You can add a little bit of a product called Trex to it if the paste is drying out, and that is an edible vegetable shortening. And it looks like lard, but it isn't lard. and it will soften it off quite a lot. Again, roll it. I've got a little bit of a shine on this one. And then using one of your fingers, just roll your paste out to a slight point, but make sure that you get those ears the right length because you want them the same length. Press it down, but before you add the paintbrush, just have a look at your length of your ear, and that's more or less the same size, and I'm quite happy with that. So I'll flatten it again with a finger or my thumb, use the paintbrush and wrap it round it just to create a crease. Little bit of water the other side and stick the rabbit's ear into place. And I quite like them quite long. I think it gives the rabbit, I think it looks ever so cute. Now, the last thing to do, normally you'd let this dry a little bit, and this is a food colour pen. And I'm just going to draw the eyes on, and I'll put one there and one there. And that's your rabbit finished.